សមាជិកគណៈបញ្ញសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាផ្លេចមានសាមគ្គីក្នុងនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរព្រមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រុសស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរ
ជំរាបសួរ Good evening, welcome and thank you for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. My name is Linda Wu. Today is Tuesday, April 27, 2021. Thank you for joining our show. Before we start, please help to support our petitions, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. It is our campaign to end impunity. Please join us and support us at change.org. The reason we fight to end impunity because of so many backstage killing that all the victims of the backstage killing never have any justice. So your support is very important to support our campaign, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Please help to watch a short video clip by Her Excellency Musaku explaining what is ending impunity for justice in Cambodia and also why we having the petitions out there. Thank you.
តើយុត្តិធម៌ឬនីតិរដ្ឋភាព
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, the very famous trade union leader, Biset Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chut, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sun Wuthy, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation, and then take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Welcome back and thank you. Please help to support our petitions ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. I just checked change.org a minute ago. We have over 75,800 signatures. We are looking for over 500,000 signatures. So your support is very important. Please share and also help sign the petitions as well. Our topic today will be social crisis in closure to prevent COVID-19 in Cambodia. And also we are remembering a man who lost his life due to his environment protection. So please help to sign the petitions. It's after 9 years, there's no justice for him. His last name is Wuthy, so Chut Wuthy. He passed away 9 years ago on the 26th, and today is the April 27, which is 9 years ago, and there's no justice. So in order to find justice for what we call backstage killing, please help to support our petitions. Thank you. I have two wonderful guests today. One of my guests still have technical difficulty. As soon as she come in, I will introduce her as of right now. I would like to introduce Mr. Vathana to the show. Let me add him in. ជំរាបសួរលោកពូ
បាទជំរាបសួរ Linda បាទ allow me to greet in Khmer បាទ ខ្ញុំសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំដល់ព្រះសង្ឃគ្រប់ព្រះអង្គក៏សូមគោរពជំរាបសួរប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរទាំងក្នុងប្រទេសនិងក្រៅប្រទេសជាទីគោរពរាប់អានហើយក៏សូមអធិស្ឋានថ្ងៃនេះគឺពួកយើងជាថ្ងៃអង្គារពួកយើងតែងតែផ្សព្វផ្សាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសដើម្បីឲ្យក្មេងជំនាន់ក្រោយគាត់បានយល់សូមអរគុណ Thank you លោកពូ Thank you for let me have an opportunity to join this program with you.
Thank you. Let me introduce. You are a governing council of the CNRP-O, stand for CNRP overseas, the O at the end, and also is a public relations in the CNRP America. So how you been?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good, thank you. How is everything at your end? How's life?
Life's kind of busy, and I'm glad that I got all 2 doses of vaccine, and plan to go back to work in the campus this summer. So the schedule going to go back the 1st of June that I'm going to go back to campus. It's kind of nervous because step away from the campus about like over a year. And now have to go back and have a new rule regulation that had to prepare to welcome a new student and all the students to first time to step in the campus. So I'm kind of nervous that the new policy that we had to check in and out the student, especially student temperature and clean up before let a student in our area. Yeah. So it kind of nervous a little bit because that campus, college, like student in and out, and a lot of student in and out and sport. So used to be nice to the student. Now I have to stand up strong to enforce student to respect the regulation. Yeah. That's not my type to do it, but I have to.
Oh, you are so nice. But don't you excited to be like returning your life to normal?
Oh yeah. Like nervous and excited. I miss my place. I miss my school. I spent almost like 20 years at that workplace, every time I walk across the campus, the students, staff, they all call my name, you know, because I'm the one stay there longer. So everyone know, yeah, especially, you know, so excited when you work at school. Someday when you go to the mall, you walk in the mall and a stranger just call your name and be nice to you and said, don't you remember me? I'm your student. You helped me a lot or something like that. It's kind of excited. Yeah. So be a person that you try to build up an educate person. Like try to educate a regular people become one educator, you know, those kind of. So that means in heart, like feel like, wow, I'm a good person. So every day you try to spend all your time, your energy to give the student advice, to give student education, make them in the good, you know, a right path that to get successful in their life. So
well, like you're doing it today now, like you are here, so that way your message will be resonate with the youth inside and outside of Cambodia. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. Yeah, you spend a lot of time on TV more than me, so I know how hard it is. Yeah.
Only on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Since you going back to campus, it's only right that we talk about COVID-19, and we are talking about COVID-19 in Cambodia. Let me do a little summary for our audience that have not followed the current event in Cambodia. On April 14, the regime had put a lockdown in basically in Phnom Penh and Takmau, and I think that's another city. I think Siem Reap. I'm not sure, but I know the most of the news is on Takmau and Phnom Penh. Yes, so what they call is called a red zone. They put a red zone, which is completely banned from entering those two cities, and the people that inside the red zone not allowed to get out. There's not much notifications to the people live in the city. If you never visited Cambodia, you got to know that people does not own refrigerator. I mean, people own refrigerator, but not many people own refrigerator. It's something, it's called a luxury item. And also people are accustomed to going to the market every single day to get fresh vegetable, fresh meat. And so that is something that Cambodian in Cambodia get used to do, is going to the market, and they do not stock item in their refrigerator. Their refrigerator, normally they stock, I believe, liquid like water, so that way it be cool since the city is so hot. So as a result, people are dying, not dying, people are hungry because the market is also closed. So as of yesterday, the regime extended another week. So Phnom Penh and Takmau will extend the lockdown to May 5th. Also, the regime warning that the lockdown will continue if people does not comply with the COVID-19 rule and regulations. I want to show some of the image that I have. Let me see, so that way our audience get a feeling of get a familiarity of like what happened and what's going on in Cambodia. Let me see. So when they close down the city, that's how they do it. They basically would not let you go in. So it's look like this. So the people that does not get enough notice, or people not aware that the city are closed, that's how the car blockage. And there's a guard waiting for that. So the city, let me see, I don't have a picture of the city where it's all quiet. I don't have that, but that is the basically sum up the lockdown in Phnom Penh and Takmau. Let me see. Lupu, do you have any comment to the lockdown?
Yeah, social crisis in Cambodia due to the lockdown of COVID-19 can lead the disaster. I would like to bring up some point. First of all, like Hun Sen have no clearly plan to prevent COVID-19, as we all know that COVID-19 spread out around the world over a year, right? But Hun Sen did not pay attention to preparing an expert team to study how to prevent COVID-19. Yeah. On the other hand, Hun Sen kind of, laughed at us, laughed at United States and European that we have a COVID-19 patient spread out, and we have a high of people infected, and people die every day. Yeah. And also Hun Sen mentioned a few words that in his he disbelieved that COVID-19 can occur in Cambodia. Like he said, if you wear mask in the hall meeting with me, I'm gonna kick you out. Or he mentioned that COVID-19 not gonna happen in Cambodia until February 31st, etc. Yeah, he said like that. So it is because of Hun Sen word. That's why the people not really prepare themselves or to protect themselves to prevent from the infect of COVID-19, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And when the Hun Sen start announce or issue an order to lock down Phnom Penh and Tak Mau in a short of time, people panic, especially market vendor or market trader and factory worker. They all panic because in a short of time, but what I noticed in a day, Hun Sen changed his decision 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I don't make a mistake. I heard that he changed his decision a few times. Before he said, just a lockdown, market open, let people just stay home, come out, exercise or something like that. And then later on, he said, no, everyone has to stay inside the house or something like that. Market had to close or something like that. See, that make people panic. And especially market vendor, when they close the market like that, they cannot they don't have enough time to organize their good, or they have to send out their good to the customer, and they have no place to keep all the good in a long time, in a long period of time. You see, so for example, like produce, meat, seafood, right? Just over a few days, it gonna spoil, so had to throw away, gonna be destroy all that stuff. Talk about factory worker. Most of the people, they depend on day-to-day income. Day-to-day income, that means they don't have enough money to buy enough food for storage. Like you mentioned above, no freezer, no
Refrigerator.
to keep the food. Most our Khmer people, they used to go to the market every morning, just buy for 1 day every day. So that are gonna affect their life so hard on that. The other hand, we had to talk about the farmer who grow the produce, and it's time to harvest it. It is time to collect the fruit, and now no market. See, I saw on the Facebook video, they said now it's time to harvest that, and no market because the market closed. So they had to leave it there to to spoil it, so throw away. And one thing, we have two things. First, they don't have income from now. They didn't have no income. Second, they lost their profit. How they gonna pay the debt? The micro financial who let them borrow the money, and they don't have money to pay them back. See, that caused a big problem, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And also for the in the short of time, people cannot have a food in the storage to prepare for a week or 2 weeks. The government said they're gonna have like food assistance to help them, but in the short term, the agency cannot prepare the food assistance to help people on time either. Like 2 weeks, some area they wait over a week already, still cannot get the food assistance. Some over 2 weeks already. They said nobody knocked the door and asked, you need help, or none. See, so that gonna be cause a lot of a big crisis in Cambodia, especially for the poor people that cannot survive in a long period of time lockdown like that.
Let me add to your food assistance. In addition to no food assistance, I saw that there's people that sell I think the guard or the police, they set up on the street where they sell noodle soup. I mean dry noodle cup to people that would like to buy them. This is a lockdown. People cannot go to work. People do not have income. So the only way that will help them is to give them the food, not sell it to them. And to make matter worse, they set it up, and if anyone would like to buy the cup noodle, they're selling it.
I know. I saw on the Facebook. It's so sad, when you see that picture. It's so sad that a factory worker get out from that room, stand on the in front of that room. I think the building about like three floor up.
Yes.
And everyone just come out and look at like what you said. The government sell some food and bring the food. They thought like they bring the food give the people for free, but it's not give for free, to sell it. So it's so sad that the factory worker said, I have no money. We all have no money to buy it. It's so sad. So
yeah.
For me, my idea like to improve this situation in order to alleviate the hardship of the people who living in a lockdown condition like this. The government better release the budget package that have some of a food assistance, some cash assistance is important, because the people need some cash assistance to pay bill like electricity, utility, or medicine. I saw one Facebook, they said, you don't believe that. If you don't see on your own eye, you don't believe that. They lock down, nobody can go outside. Everyone has to stay inside the house. But the electricity bill, a person just try to deliver for what I believe, it's not a mailman. It's not a mailman to deliver the mail. I think maybe the staff of the people who work for electricity company or something like that. They bring a bill and then try to slide it through the door, under the door, ask the people to pay. And she said the bill used to have they used to have some kind like for example like 200,000 real or something like that, and now go up to 300,000 real. Wow. She said, stay home, no money, and now pay the bill. It multiplied by two.
Okay.
The
Thank
rate
you,
is so
Lukpu.
high.
Yes, let me pause and let me introduce our guest. She just got in. Let me have her add in. Let me see. She actually still have technical difficulty. Let me have you pause a little bit. Let me show our audience the infection rate. Let me see. This is from VOA. This is very pretty good, pretty update news. It's this morning. So 82 people have passed away from COVID-19. Let me see. 10. So total of infection rate, total of people that got infected, 11,063 people, and the new case is 508 people. Let me see. I somehow have a different. Let me see. So for the last 2 weeks alone, since the lockdown, the reason for the lockdown is to prevent new case. I mean, to control COVID-19. But for the last 2 weeks, the Ministry of Health have identified nearly 5,700 more people, and the number of infections per day is 470 people, and number of deaths due to COVID-19 during the lockdowns period is 44. So the average of 4 deaths per day. So this is lockdown to prevent, but as a matter of it's not going down. So that's a number that came from the Ministry of Health. And let me try to introduce my guest again. ជំរាបសួរអ្នកមីង
ជំរាបសួរសុខសប្បាយ
ចា how are you
ទៅបញ្រត់ចូលមករួចពីផាកឡានបើកឡានមក6 7ម៉ោងមកពីសូរ៉ាឥឡូវនេះនៅអិលណូយហើយទៅនឹងមកដល់ទៅខកខានដំណើរ
Oh no, it's okay. Thank you for being here today. My guest, her name is Seng. She is the president of the CNRP-A in Minnesota. So thank you, Ming, for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having a chance to come and share my thought and idea about what's going on in Cambodia.
I was discussing with Lukpu Vathana regarding the lockdown in Cambodia. The lockdown with no notice, with short notice to the citizen of Phnom Penh and Khmer. And as a result, people doesn't have food. I mean, people does not prepare food. And in addition to that, the markets are closed. Have you heard anything about that, or would you like to let the audience know what's going on?
Thank you for the problem that we need to express our feelings. All Cambodian people around the world, not just us, not just me and you, it's all over the world that having really the condition what Hun Sen has done to his own innocent nation, he just do what he thinks to his thought and to his idea, think what to make, how to kill innocent people, whoever did not happy with his ruler, who is not vote for him. He have a chance to revenge to these people, to kill them, to abuse them, to do everything what he want to do right now as a fake prime minister.
I'm not sure it's my internet or internet. I having a hard time it seems going out in and out. Let me add Lukpu back in.
Yep.
Can you unmute Lukpu?
I think her internet is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's static because I cannot hear.
Yeah, I think in the internet here, the service here, which is caused the problem. Yep.
Oh, now we
like
hear
I
you.
said,
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Thank you now. Like I said, I have a hard break for this situation, for this crisis, for these innocent Cambodian. What a, horrible, what is the outrage that Hun Sen do to his people, to do to Cambodian people. So I feel like I can't stop my tears. I just pray to God to protect, to help them this time, this crisis time. It's the worst time. I know Hun Sen enjoy killing people. He enjoyed doing bad to his own nation. He never cared about the life of Cambodian, but only his family and himself. I can't stop my tears that I see all these innocent people. They try to survive. They are hardworking Cambodian, and they do a really good job to protect their country and their people. Right now, Cambodian people wake up and realize that we need to support each other. We need to help each other right now. We cannot turn against each other, because the leader, the Hun Sen, that's fake prime minister, don't want these people to live. He do us good, whatever he can do right now, but he just fake, said help, I can't help, I feel bad, it's my fault. Yeah, it is. If you know that he's fault, he should step down. Look at Cambodian die. Look at Cambodian starving and need help, time for help. Instead of getting, he built, cremation, a place for to kill. Is that the help? No, it's not help. If help, Cambodia need food. Should we provide food, not provide the dead,
Thank you, Naming.
Yeah. Cremation, they don't want to do the cremation. They don't want to die. They just need food right now, need water, need medication, need, sanitation, need doctor, need nurse, need each other. We all need each other. So just whatever you promise. You can't just promise and then you can't make it. If you know that you can't do it, don't promise. Because the need of Cambodia and the need of people right now, when they heard that, okay, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to do this, okay, think that it's going to happen. But it's too bad that's never happened. Hun Sen just say one word, I can't do it. What happened to the hopeless people? They just have no hope now. Oh, my prime minister said, I can't help this 30 real, 30,000 real. It's just about less than $10. Not even $1, not even $100. 400 real is $100, right? 4,000, 40,000, $100.
I think he was he's saying that he's gonna pass it out, but I believe last night he said there's no money for it.
Yeah, no money. Can't give the 30,000 real. Times a month, right? Times a month is
and the people that are affected by that the most is the garment worker, the factory worker. So according to labor right official, it said it came out with a statement that Cambodia will not be able to prevent COVID-19 if the stakeholders still not ensure the safety of factory workers. So
Yeah.
since April 7 until April 26 right now, there are nearly 230 factories. There are workers infected with disease, and also there's not many. And so the human rights officials say that the government must take responsibility to allow workers to face basically pay for doing quarantine. When they don't go to work, they don't get money, and at the same, and that's what the people that suffer the most right now, because factory worker is not some, almost of them rent a place in Phnom Penh, and they depend on their salary. When the factory closed down and due to the lockdown, there's no money coming in.
Yeah, right. Because when you don't have any job, you don't have any income. You can't bring any income unless you have a grocery or some kind of business that you make money. You bring money in. When you don't have any job, you don't have any business, you don't have anything to do to make money, and then rely on the government that they promised. They said that, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then all these, you know, suffering people, they need help. They're so happy to hear that, when a leader promised to give something when they really need it, but then at last said that, no, I don't have it. They just want to clap and don't want to no breath anymore. They just breathe less. No hope now. What can I do? I don't have any income. I can't get out from home. I can't make any money to bring money in now. What's next? And then build more the land for doing the cremation. What is his intent? What he tried to do? This is to my idea. I'm thinking what he tried to do to all these innocent people. Innocent people is the people, hardworking people, lovely people. Why he do this to Cambodian people? United States love Cambodian because he know that Cambodian here work 2 jobs. So the more you work, the more you bring income to your house. Plus the state revenue, they make money of people working, And United States want to make more money, want more people work, not rely on assistance. If the more people that work, the more they're happy. But Hun Sen, what's going on with him? I don't know. It seemed like he's a weird guy. He seemed like he wants Cambodian people to die somehow. I don't know. Look at him. I just wondering, what is he trying to do? All these Cambodian cry and weeping, help, help. I don't have food. We are starving now. We're going to die. Now we don't have any food and we don't have any money to pay bills. All these bills pile up on us. Utility, gas, food, Medicaid, and bank, and whatever that create more, stuff more heavy to the resident, to the Cambodian people.
Thank you, Namin.
Yeah.
Let me ask Luk Pu. Since we live in America and the COVID-19 exists in March of 2020, basically we heard about COVID-19 since November of 2019. What is your suggestions? Continue with your suggestion to Cambodia. What should Cambodia do? Since we saw what America did for the last 13 or 14 months.
Okay, thank you for the question. To reduce the infection or to control the virus spreading out, the government need people to cooperate with the government. Government and the people need to cooperate each other. So to make people cooperate with the government need to release, like what we said, food assistance and cash assistance. So that's to control the situation. So when the people have food, have money, and they're gonna listen. They're gonna listen to the government. Okay, now I provide you food, I provide you money already, so you don't have to go to work. Stay home, stay put, and then follow up the public health regulation that what you should do, right? And one more thing, authorities need to understand the Cambodia people, how the Cambodia people living condition. I have a couple points to bring it up. Like, authorities have to understand that you cannot force people to stay inside a house or inside a small room, because if people stay inside a small room, they're gonna spread the virus from one to another in the family. So that's not a good idea to force people to stay inside the house and close the door. Second, people who live in a small room or in a small house, they need to open the door, they need to open the window, let the air flow, let the air flow through the house, make sure the air flow condition good. So that's gonna kill the virus. And one thing, people don't have to stay inside the house close to each other. They need to come outside, but not into the neighbor, just inside, in front of their house. In the every morning, just come outside in the sun, exercise, put the mask on, respect social distancing, eat food separately, because Cambodia family, I believe that they're gonna eat food together. So it's not good idea that to eat food together. You have to eat food separately, drink hot water with lime or lemon, and also come outside to exercise to release some stress. If you just lock down yourself in the small room, close the door, close the window, that's not good idea. That make people depressed, make people stressed, and can create like domestic violence in the family, create a problem. So the main thing, to make people cooperate with the government or with authority, the government or authority has to provide them what they need: food, money, right? In the United States, the government announced a week, okay? They give us about a week. They're gonna close it. So everyone just go outside, buy something what we can to stock up in a house, prepare for 2 weeks. And after that, the government released the stimulus check to provide us, have some fund that we can use that to buy food or pay bill, right? And the government announced, like, okay, should delay to pay electricity or water, utility at least a few months, at least 2 months for the people. So when the people stop thinking about food, they're going to cooperate with the government. They're going to stay put inside the house. So if people who live in a house have a big yard, that's a good idea. Like, just come out inside the house, outside the house, in the sun, perform exercise, keep distance from each other, that to avoid the spreading out the virus. I think that's a good idea that we all do in United States, and now we reduce it. Also, finally, the government had to speed up COVID-19 testing and vaccinating. Yeah, in the red zone. Yeah, but a moment ago I heard a voice of Mr. Hun Sen said he gonna put all the vaccine in the red zone right now. I think it's a good idea to speeding up testing and vaccinating. That's a good thing. Yeah, but to make the people cooperate, they had to release the fund. Yeah.
In my town, and I believe all over town, every 2 weeks, people can drive up and open the trunk of their car, and they put 2 weeks worth of food in there if the citizen need food. In addition to the stimulus check, and also so that what in my town, I'm not sure it's your town, but it and still continue to this day.
I want to add that too. In the first 2 weeks, everyone struggle because like some you gonna go buy stuff, but you don't have enough money to buy it, or the food is run out. So what they call food bank.
Food bank, yes.
And you just drive around and they give you some food that you can survive for a week or two. But I don't believe that Cambodia can do that. But for now, I see a generous people. Thank you for those people who try to share whatever they have, and to the other who they don't have it. That's a good idea to share. If you have more than enough food, share to another one who don't have enough. In this condition, you have to love each other as a Khmer family and help each other. Yeah, the only one thing, because like sister said, we cannot depend on the government right now because we don't know when the government gonna help with food and the money. I heard, I saw Facebook last night. One lady said the local authority asked the landlord how many people, how many family in that building, and she said about like 100 people live in this building, and authority said, okay, I just need only 5 poor people, 5 poor people that they're gonna have food, only 5. What about 95? What they're doing? They don't have food. So I think that's not a good plan to help the people during COVID crisis. I can't believe that.
Thank you, Lupu. I'm gonna show some random picture, and then I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna just tell why those I put up random picture, and then if you can chime in as well. Let me see. You were talking about quarantine. People need 6 people need to be in the quarantine, so that way they will not bring infection in, and that's the purpose of the red zone, is not prevent the city people from going out to the farm and the farm people from coming in. But this is the picture of the people that are quarantined. So I guess when they are infected, they should be they throw them in together.
No, this is not a good idea that you let the people just come in one place to get a COVID-19 test. I think it's a bad idea to do like this. Yeah, no, you cannot do like that. You see, now this is a big crowd, so it's gonna spread the virus from one to another. That's what I said. The government have no a good plan to help people. The government just said, like I heard, authority just said, the law just said, you don't stay in one closing place. You cannot stay in the closing place. But authority said, go inside your room and lock the door. I have no word to say right now because Hun Sen, this virus is spread out the whole world a year already. Phnom Penh regime should prepare to prevent this happen, right? But
correct.
They don't do that.
They don't, and let me show you the picture of the police preventing people from get outside the house, or enforcing the law. This is how they enforce the law. It is sad during the lockdown. That is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
This is during the lockdown where for the last 2 weeks, you would think that so no support from the regime, people would go out and look for food, and when people go out, this is what they face at outside their house, and that is like a criminal treating his own citizen like a criminal.
Mm-hmm. That's going to create a hatred, like they're going to create a problem, a conflict between the people and authority. Yeah.
And this is what authority do.
A stake.
Beating people
With a stake.
for leaving their house without proper notifications, without proper preparations. People are beating, they beating the citizen with the stick because people are leaving their home to get food. And this lady holding a sign said that her stomach is crawling is worse than the COVID-19. That's the translations. With proper preparations, with proper amount of notifications and support from the regime, I have no doubt that COVID-19 going to go down like in America. COVID-19 is significantly down. But at the same time, this is over, I can say 18 months that Cambodia have watched America and also have watched the world at the same time does nothing. And that's the leadership that we have right now that does not care, does not concern about anyone else except his pocket.
Yeah, so Cambodia people cannot depend on a government like Hun Sen like this, because like what you said, he have time about a year to prepare to prevent this happen, but he carelessly let this virus, and who bring the virus, the COVID-19 in the community? Hun Sen. Why I said Hun Sen? Because Hun Sen still open fly from China to Cambodia, right? Most country they close it, they shut down, especially from China, but Hun Sen open. And who bring the COVID-19 to the community? China tourists. Yeah. So that's why now it's spread all over. I said the last time I said I give Hun Sen like 3 to 5 months to stop it, but I don't believe that it can stop. See, now Hun Sen increased another 2 weeks. It's not reduced, gonna be another 2 weeks. So he cannot handle this situation. Gonna create a disaster right now.
Thank you, Lapu. We talk extensively on the COVID-19 because that's the situation right now. It's a very sad situation. There's no help from the government. The factory worker have no money because the factory closed, and no food. And people in the city, people in the red zone, the market's closed. So at the same time, cannot get out, or people that sell food cannot get in. Let us move to our second topic. April 26 is the anniversary of the assassinations of Mr. Chut Wuthy. Mr. Chut Wuthy was one of Cambodia's most vocal environmental activists. He was one of the few people that willing to speak against the illegal logging and land grabbing, which continue to hurt Cambodians and still now, and also destroy Cambodia rich natural resource like forests, deforestations. Let me bring a picture of him so our audience will remember who he is and know who he is. The reason I brought it up, the anniversary of the assassination, on April 22nd, the world celebrated Earth Day. Do you know what Earth Day is, Lupu?
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. During the Earth Day, you know, like I remember like the first day of President Joe Biden. After he signed, after he inauguration and he signed off his some work that he gonna sign to, and he signed up with European country that he gonna join with them to protect the earth. He gonna join to protect the global warming. Yeah. So when he mentioned about that, make me remember Mr. Chut Wuthy and the other person that sacrificed their life to protect environment, to protect the forest from the deforestation. And I remember it flashback that I remember the video of Mr. Chut when he talked about like he will get killed if he go to that jungle. If he go beyond that, he will get killed. And one of his friends called him, said, "You have to come back. Don't go there because it's dangerous. If you still continue doing this, you will harm your life." And he said, "Yeah." He think about that, but the next day he decided to go. And that day, and it shocked the world that he was killed by one of the guard who what it called like military police who protect the company, yeah, who shot him in the forest. So it's so sad when we see his face that he sacrificed the whole life to protect environment, to protect natural resource. This is the national property that not belong to him, but he sacrificed his life to protect it. It's so sad that the government plan to do something like that, you know. And until now, it's 9 years that he died, no justice. It's so sad.
Correct. And with his murder, it's resonate not only with Cambodian, but also globally. So it was his killing that first inspired Global Witness to start document the killings of activists around the world. Yesterday, Global Initiative released a 65 pages finding on Cambodia. I only read a little bit, but I went to their website, and this is the document. If anybody interested in reading, it's 65 pages long. It's talking about the forest in Prelong. Let me read a little bit to our audience. So the Global Initiative said Cambodia has suffered some of the highest rate of deforestation of any country since 1970, and the rate has been increasing significantly in the past decade. Even the country's so-called protected areas have been severely impacted, despite supposedly being safeguarded under Cambodia law. The 65 pages came out yesterday. I did not see a reason why it came out. I'm thinking it's because of his 9-year anniversary of assassination, but that report came out, and the Global Forest Watch estimated that between 2001 to 2018, 17 years, Cambodia has lost over 557,000 hectare of tree cover in protected areas. This is considered protected areas, representing an 11.7% loss of total protected areas. Some protected areas have been deforested to such an extent that they no longer have much of any natural habitat. So forest gone, animal gone, so just empty land. This loss have been impacted by biodiversity, conservative, and has a detrimental social and economical effect on the indigenous people who depend on the forest. In 17 years, that's what Cambodian, I guess, regime did. Let me find his picture again. This is after his assassinations. People are remembering his life. Let me ask you some question, Lukpu. With his death, can you help to share the major significant impact to the Cambodia environment? I actually read a little bit of that already, but can you help to share anything out that I missed?
Yeah. Okay. The death of Mr. Chut make it clear nationally and internationally that the Phnom Penh regime, led by Mr. Hun Sen, have no way to protect or prevent deforestation and continue large-scale deforestation. That means never protect it, never stop it, and continue cutting tree. So 9 years already, this regime still continue cutting tree, and the tree, the forest is the national forest. That means national property, but they use it as a personal profit. $100 million that they collect from the tree supposed to be in the national bank to help develop the country, to help build the country, to help poor people, but they don't do that. They just share with a few people who have high rank power. So this is going to be a criminal. Yeah, this is a criminal. That's what people, Khmer people should know that national resource is belong to our country. It's not belong to Mr. Hun Sen family, but they use it as their own profit. So it's not right. So it is not right. So we cannot depend on Mr. Hun Sen anymore. My people should understand that. We need to change. We need a leader who take good care of the country and take good care of the people. Right now, people living condition is very poor. When I say like that, some people object me, right? You're not right. I said 80% right now, people live under the poverty line. That means they make maybe $5 a day or less than $5 a day, right? A month, they make less than $200. You see?
Correct.
So it's under a poverty line. So Hun Sen regime never take good care of the people, never take good care of the country. They use all national resource for their own profit. So it's so sad that we have a leader who corruption. This is corruption, yeah. And now he his group, his family, and his top rank officer become a millionaire, but the people very poor. Yeah. So people need to know, he need to understand, especially youth, the college student. You have to do research like Ms. Linda said. Now we have a document. International community, they try to organize this document and release this document this day because they want my people to know that, to understand that. So if you don't believe us, we don't force you to believe, but you have to do your own research to educate yourself, right?
Correct.
Yeah, educate yourself. Nowadays, you know, not 30 years ago. 30 years ago, if you want to know anything, you can, because you cannot have a TV, you cannot, you don't have a radio, you don't have a computer, you don't have a cell phone. But right now you have everything, right? You have a smartphone, you can do research. Just do research. Don't waste your time, especially right now, COVID-19, the lockdown, during the lockdown like this, you boring, research. Yeah, explore the world. How the people who live in democracy country, how they live, how their life, and how the people live in communist country, right? And you compare it, so you understand it. Which one you prefer? Which one you should be depend on? The leader, the dictator leader, dictatorship leader, or liberal leader, right? So you have to know that. For me, you know, I'm so happy that right now you just said a few words and a smartphone just give you all information, so you can educate yourself from that. Don't let Hun Sen manipulate the story. Don't let Hun Sen twist the story Right now, Hun Sen always said like we all outside abroad say something. They said we try to create a social unsafety or something like that. It's not right.
Social unrest.
Yeah, it's not true. So right now you have time, research yourself, educate yourself, so you will know that how bad Hun Sen regime is. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukpu. Let me read. Let me put his picture up and let me read. He was only 45 years old when he was murdered, leaving a wife and 3 children. The regime investigate into his murder. The investigation was open and shut within 3 days, and those involved never hear accountable. 3 days. 3 days. The case was open and then shut, and nobody ever got charged. And this is over 9 years ago, and he still have no justice.
No justice.
No justice at all. We have a campaign. It's called Ending Impunity for Justice in Cambodia. This one of the case that we, Her Excellency Morsakho talk about. This considered a backstage killing, meaning a murder and based back by the regime, because we can never find who killed him or who murdered him, because the leadership of the country probably involved with it. Lukpu, why is it important that we support ending impunity for justice in Cambodia, the campaign?
Because Hun Sen regime always said the government not involved in this murder, but the government never opened for independent investigation. Never open for that, and because a person who cut the tree is a top rank officer and who that relate to Hun Sen family. Yeah. One more thing, a guard who shot killed Mr. Chut Wuthy is for what I believe that what it called like military police.
Yes.
Military police that he worked for the government, right? But
he worked for the private company that how they right to the land.
Yeah, something like that. He belonged to the government, but he worked for private company. See, that's related, yeah, right? Related. Correct. And all the money, $100 million collect from that, give to Hun Sen. Yeah, that's why Hun Sen not allow people to do campaign for and impunity. So, but we have an opportunity like this. We had to stop impunity, because a criminal person right now live in Cambodia freely. So it's not fair for the victim. Yeah. So that's why we said, if you lead the country, use the law to control the people for your own power, it's not good, because we need the rule of law. People should need the rule of law, not let the government use the law to control people. So people had to understand that.
Thank you, Lukpu. Let me, before we end, let me bring up the report. This is the cover of the report. Is Global Initiative of Forest Crime in Cambodia. Cambodia has suffered some of the highest rate of deforestation measured by the percentage of forest cover of any country since the 1970s. It's sad. It's very sad, and like I said, the report came out yesterday on his anniversary of 9 years of being assassinated. 9 years. Like you said, a lot of information's out there. The youth need to seek out and understand what's going on in the country. For the last 17 years, what it said is like we lost almost 12% of the forest, And where are those money going to? Where, when we said lost forests, I mean, forests are being cut down, and at the same time, there's a company that responsible for cutting down those forests. And when a company responsible for cutting down those land, it's on somebody's land. So as a result, it said illegal logging and land grabbing involved, and that it's sad all around. There's people that does not have land to live on, the land where their their grandparent, great grandparent passed it to them, and now just gone. And also the issue that regarding land grabbing, it's all over Cambodia, and the government can never solve that issue. The reason, because the head of state involved with it. That's why nothing ever gets solved.
No.
So please support our petitions ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. We have that petition so that we want justice for Mr. Wuthy. It's been 9 years, and like I said, the case was open for 3 days, 3 whole days. Have you heard any case that opened for 3 days and then closed, just closed? And nobody ever responsible. A man life that lost 9 years ago, his wife and 3 children without our husband, with our father. And the government opened the case, not the government, the regime opened the case for 3 days. It's just beyond sad.
Real sad, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lukpu, for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda, for working hard, yeah, to educate young people, and I hope they understand and they continue educate themselves to be because right now we live abroad, nothing that we can do, right?
Exactly.
In Cambodia, maybe we can hold demonstration, or we can hold a rally to protest against Hun Sen. But right now we live outside, only advocate the people in Cambodia. So we just broadcast live on the Facebook or YouTube that to spread out the information for the young generation. Should understand that and should learn from that. And thank you so much, Linda, and thank you for all the people who watching this live show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our most important message today is, his death is 9 years ago, and there's no justice yet. So please help to support our petition. That's one of our message, and it's about what calls state back killing. It's by the government, it's by the regime, because he doesn't have any justice. And also we brought a COVID-19 issue into the table. That's because we live in America. Our percentage of people that infected every day, people that death is more than what Cambodia experienced. But at the same time, nobody in America or in Europe that go out and actually have a hunger issue. The government supports by stimulus checks, by sending people money because they cannot go out and work. And at the same time, the mortgage payment, the car payment, the electricity and all that, if anybody affected by COVID-19 got assistance, got passed. And if you are rented a place to live, the landlord are not allowed to kick you out because of COVID-19, because you don't have a job and that you are directly affected by that. People in Cambodia are in hunger right now because of the lockdown. And at the same time, because of the lockdown, they cannot go to work. When they cannot go to work, there's no money. So the assistant need to be there, like His Excellency Som Rangsi spoken a couple of days ago, pleading for international help with the food, because Cambodia, that in the lockdown zone, does not have food. So we need assistance on that. And we need the regime to assist the people. It's a very critical issue. Well, thank you so much, Lukpu, and thank you for being here, and see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.